I'll never use this decking product again, and here's why. Just look at it. All right, so what you see here is a product that was made. It's a 12-inch wide board. I'm not gonna tell you the manufacturer. I've had this decking product 8 years. There's a few things I like, but there's more things I don't like about it than I do, and that's why I'll probably never install this product ever again. The most painful part of this product was the installation. Anytime we had to drill a hole through it, it's such a hard product because it's made from craft paper and resins that are pushed together in a press. I don't know the exact process. I might be telling you a little bit wrong about how it's made. It can only be made so long because it's such a high pressure that it's pushed together with, and then it has like a really hard shell on the outside of it, which is supposed to last a really long time. One of the most difficult parts about installing it was drilling it, ripping it, or cross-cutting it with a chop saw. We went through 6 12-inch compound slide miter saw blades just cutting this material. You have to have really refined tools and really high-end blades to cut through this product. And then you're probably gonna have to have them resharpened after installing this decking, even if it's a small deck just like this one. It's extremely difficult to rip. It takes several minutes just to rip a 8-foot board, and every hole you drill has to be done with precision, and it also has to have a special drill bit so you can get through the holes, because this product is extremely hard, which you would think, hey, cool, man, I think this product's gonna last a really long time. But in that time, there's also some other things I want you to consider. It has a grooved edge, so you can use a clip for installation, which is fine. You're gonna use a T15 stainless steel star drive. You're gonna leave smaller gaps, which the star drive screw wants to touch the edges of the decking when it goes in. Sometimes they can chip, so you gotta be careful about that. Then there's the whole heat factor. This product retains a lot of heat. We have western exposure on the front of this deck, so when the sun comes down in the afternoon and you're in your bare feet, you cannot walk on this product, you can't stand on it, you would burn the bottoms of your feet. Your pets won't like it either. Our pets didn't. They don't like being out on this when it's hot out because it's just really hot on the feet. That was a stickler for my wife. She is ready for me to replace these deck boards, and we will be doing that eventually, and then we'll show you guys a new video on the remodel when we get around to it. Another thing I didn't care for on this decking is we made all of our own fascia, and all the fascia for some reason has these stains, these drip marks and stains on it. I don't know why or what it is, and some of those have transferred into the top of the deck boards right here. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but there's some staining and some drips and things like that that you notice. And the product carries dust and dirt quite well, so there's now the deck needs to be cleaned, okay? I'll give you that. The deck does need a thorough cleaning, but we have cleaned it once this spring already. We pressure washed it. There's just a lot of dust and dirt right now. Since it's such a wide plank, there's a lot that just settles right on top of the plank. Again, fascia's tricky because you gotta use a special fascia bit, and you're burning through those bits because this product is so difficult to drill. All right, so for an example, like when we were installing these stair treads, you can see right here, this gap has opened up some, and there is some chipping that you can see on both sides. This is the one in particular I was talking about. When you put in the screws, if these are too tight, when you put the screw in, it'll divot the side of the board out like this. And then this is also another chip that happened, and I don't know if that was from a similar situation, or if you twist the drill bit a little bit or something like that, then you can also get side chipping of the boards. Once it's installed, it's fine, but just getting it to that point. These clips didn't have a specific gap in mind, so you can see that like this one, it's tight here. These have a tendency to move around a little bit, so we have a narrow gap here, and then on the same board we have a wider gap back here. If you're not making sure that these are cinched down totally, and even if they are, things can move around with expansion and contraction, and then you might end up with different size gaps. So it's just something you kind of have to look out for when you're installing this material. The material is 8 years old, so I'm going to give it a little bit of credit for longevity, but it is absorbing, I think this is WD-40 This might be some WD-40 drips or stains or something like that, and it looks like it's starting to absorb some of that stuff. So the absorption rate on it is good. When we made the fascia, the boards only come in 12-inch widths. And because it's grooved on both sides, they don't have a non-groove board. So we had to make our own. So we ripped down our fascia boards, and then we had to sand the tops of these because it took forever to rip it, and it ruined our table saw blades trying to get through this product. And then we had to sand it, and then we put some vegetable oil on it to kind of soak in to try to get it to smooth out and look decent. And it did at first, but I'm not gonna come out here every 3 months and put vegetable oil on the end grains of all my deck, on my fascia boards. That's, I think, where some of these failure rates and some of the staining started happening, is after we ripped this board and put this rip side up, that maybe these stains are happening because of that. Now these are nice and smooth, but it took us a while to sand all this out and then make it look decent so that we could use it as a fascia piece. I think if you looked at the other side of these boards, there's a grooved edge from the other side of the decking. We certainly weren't gonna rip it twice if we didn't have to. I went through 6 12-inch blades on my miter saw, and I went through a few 10-inch blades ripping boards. I had to rip all the fascia, one board at the house, and that's about it. And I think one board here on the inside, yeah, right here, you can kind of see this little piece here. And then for this board, we used a clip, and then we had to drill holes. And then every hole you have to drill, every single one. It's just a challenge. It took a lot of time. So I went ahead and I did this deck out of my own curiosity to make sure it was something that I was interested in. And it's the only deck I've ever done in this type of material because it's so difficult to install and takes so much time. It's just not what I'm used to as far as a standard decking material. All right, guys, so I just removed this front carpet mat that we have on the front of our porch. And I don't know if you can see it, but for one, there's a lot of water stains underneath it. This is a covered porch, so it doesn't get a lot of water, but just from some of the heavier rains that we've gotten. But I've also noticed quite a bit of fade. So you can kind of see this is one color, and where this mat, and this mat's been on several years, so there is some fade rate to the product as well. So just something else to consider if you're looking into using something like this for your decking. It has lasted a decent amount of time. I think it'll last another 20 years probably, if I don't mind the way it looks. But I think eventually we're probably gonna be taking it up and installing some TimberTech AZEK in the near future. So stay tuned for that, guys. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.